it's very easy to come here and deflect and push blame to one side, but we as a unit, we haven't been good enough. Me, the players, we haven't been good enough. So we got to take this forward. And like I said, it's it's been a long time since I've lost my temper, but I've certainly lost my temper a couple of times over the last couple of days.
You'll be first to say that things can change very, very quickly. You know, if you get on a good run, of course, you move up the table. But I guess it's just finding that sort of ingredient, if you like, isn't it? Going out there and getting that performance the full 90 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can go over the top. I mean, last couple of days, especially after the game, you know, a few of us probably were a little bit too over the top with how we were with each other, but I think we have to go back to, it's a good group of men, you know, good staff, good group of men. This is a group of men that, how long ago was March? 7 months ago, 6 months ago, were ready to write off half of their wages every week in order to keep this club afloat. And I think things like that sometimes get lost in these moments. You know, these are a good group of people that have always put the club first, you know, in my time. And we haven't performed very well so far, but are we a month in yet? I don't even know if we're a month in. I think we're just inside a month of playing football again. And it doesn't feel, and I'm sure people have seen this, but I'm sure you've all seen this, especially someone like Aid who's watched teams for years, but I'm watching a new team. I'm not watching the same team as I watched last year. So we're going to have to work out different ways in how we implement a new performance level and a new way of playing. And I thought we'd got there. I really did. I thought we got there. I thought the change of shape to a back three was suited us, and especially our addition of Josh Staunton. So that suited us very well. I thought we were moving forward. I really did. But as you can see, one injury, and it didn't suit us. And probably looking back, I should have probably played a different system Tuesday night, knowing that we didn't have the personnel to really effectively run with that back three. Or, you know, the reason why we went with the change of shape was to obviously try and get as many of our top players, you know, as in as natural position as possible. And when you start then taking that out or subtracting from those units, there's not a logical reason anymore to play that system. So, you know, maybe in hindsight, it's never, you know, I'm not one of these that just lays blame on the players. I don't believe that. I'm certainly not weak-minded enough to just do that. You know, I think if I had my time again, I'd probably do quite a few things differently. But look, we live and learn. Like I said, we're a good group of men who will be stronger for the adversity, definitely.
And Chesterfield are next up. Given where they are in the table and where you are in the table, is this now, although it's early in the season, as you say, is it now a must-win game?
I thought he was going to say, is it a 6-pointer or something? They're all must-win, aren't they? They're all must-win. You know, we're almost a victim of our progress. And I feel like every game as a Yeovil manager is a must-win. But I felt that way after winning 7 games in a row and going to Hartlepool when we got beat. You know, we were poor that day. But even then, after 7 wins in a row, I never felt any less pressure than I feel now, because I think it's just part of the post of being at Yeovil, and we've got a hugely expectant, you know, set of fans who are as committed as anyone in the country. And Tuesday was probably one of them nights where we didn't match that level of commitment. And we've all spent enough time doing this now to probably fathom that I'm a big believer that the players that you always connect with are the ones that show the most endeavour and have human endearment in them. So I think it's important we get those basics back, similar to when I joined the club. You know, it was all about rolling your sleeves up and having a fight. I don't think it's any different. I don't think it's ever been any different. But we've just come away from that a little bit, and we've certainly reminded each other in no uncertain terms over the last couple of days.
Yeah. What do you expect from Chesterfield? What sort of a game are you expecting?
They've got some good football league players. I mean, you know, a couple there that I've worked with in my career, and you know, they've got some good players. It'll be a tough game, very tough game. They obviously had a game Tuesday like we did, and it will come down to the same things. It will come down to the quality of the players. It will come down to the freshness and the energy and the commitment and desire of the players. And you know, it's got to that stage where those key ingredients have to be enforced before we start adding a layer on top of that, because we've become very we've almost developed a little bit of a soft underbelly. I know there's loads of jokes going on about my belly right now, but there's we've almost developed that, and that's not been a theme. That's never really been a theme in my football teams, and I won't allow that kind of process to settle in, because that gets us nowhere.
They've certainly got a player who knows how to score in Denton, haven't they? He's got 5 goals already this season. I think it's only one game that he hasn't scored in. So obviously you'll be aware of the threats that they pose and where their good players are. Yeah,
got good players everywhere. You know, good players everywhere. Got lads who have been at Premier League clubs as kids, and you know, they got some good players. So all these games are tough. They're very tough. They feel like they're getting tougher, don't they? Because you know, we haven't won a game, and it doesn't matter what club rolls off the tip of your tongue. It's going to be a tough game for us. So you know, we've got to shake ourselves into life, and really kind of dig deep, which we've done so many times. You know, this won't be the first time, you know, that I've been in a corner and trying to fight my way out. So just got to fight. There's no magic formula to this. If there was a magic formula to it, we'd all apply it and no one would ever lose, would they? But that doesn't happen up and down the country week in, week out. These things are happening. So, you know, we need to almost shock ourselves into a little bit of energy, urgency, quality, decision, all these things that mean, you know, that go into the processes of winning. We have to ignite them very quickly.
And John Pemberton in charge there. He's an experienced figure, of course. Is he somebody that you know at all?
I've not come across John too much in my career, because I was in the developmental world probably just as he was going into first team football. And obviously he's based in the north of the country, you know, a lot of his career, and good coach, had a ridiculously good Sheffield United team that went into the Youth Cup final. Had Maguire and Slew playing for them, who went on and signed for, you know, a big fee at Blackburn. So good coach. You don't last in football if you can't coach. And he's had a very distinguished career. So it'll be very much a battle of wits as well as the game going on the pitch.
Good luck, Darren. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Morning, Darren, or afternoon, Darren?
Afternoon, Aid.
I've never seen you quite so down after a game as you were on Tuesday night. You know, I mean, are we being a little bit panicky here? You've only lost 2 games so far. I know you haven't won any yet, but you've only lost 2. So, you know, are we sort of getting a bit worked up too unnecessarily?
I can only kind of guess what people are saying on the outside. I'm not one of these that hears anything. We don't hear anything in the ground anymore, which is, you know, I've never wanted to be sworn at in all my life as much as I did on Tuesday. I get really disappointed when people don't do the organisation, the club, when they don't do it justice. You know, they don't do the people behind the scenes justice, and we start to question sometimes the calibre of that person rather than the calibre of the player, and I didn't like that. You know, human being, take great pride in my work, very, very passionate, as you know, always go over the top, as you know. And I didn't like it. I didn't like the feel of it. I didn't like I thought the first half performance was, I used the word disgusting, and I look back and think, yeah, that was an appropriate word. Very much an appropriate word. And I made the players watch that back, because they need to see, why, what me, for example, or people from, externally have come to that conclusion. But what I do know is, when we talk about the caliber of them people, they've done so much for this club, so much, during a really tough time, and to throw that to one side would be completely wrong. To forget that would be completely wrong. To forget that the supporters dug so deep with crowdfunding, with support, with donations, real solid work for the club, unbelievable work for the club. That would be wrong as well. And that's forever in the back of our mind. But, we didn't do ourselves justice, me included. We didn't do ourselves justice. And we know that there's a redeeming feature in our performance Saturday, if that makes sense.
You've got a team that's made up of largely experienced players. Do you think that a blend of a bit more youth in the team would help at all?
I think Tuesday would have been one of my youngest teams here. I mean, if you think about Alcock, Leadbitter's kind of come in for Alcock. Leadbitter's just turned 30. Craig was 34 last year. Quigley's in for Richards, if you like. There's probably about 16 years difference in that one. Adam Smith's in the team, 26. Nelson was 37. I feel like we're in the, we've got experienced players, but we should also have players, when you're talking about 27, 28, you should, you would hope that they're coming into the prime of their careers. That's that kind of age. When did Terry become good aid? He's just left the room. So
I gotta be honest, without wanting to sound like I'm pulling on him, I could never remember him not being good, to be honest.
That's a solid answer. I'll make sure he gets that one.
No, he was always pretty useful, to be fair to him.
Yeah, he was. He joined in training to manhandle a few today. He was pretty handy in that, I must say. But he no, I think Gabby Rogers has done, has come in and played more games, more minutes already than he did last year. And there's been a bit of a demand, but I would say if we went average age, for example, I would say that we've dropped that dramatically, because we started so late last year with our recruitment. We felt that we didn't really have the time to spend lots of time on the coaching pitch developing players minute after minute in order to get results. We needed people who could come in straight away, knew the game, knew their position, knew what they were going to bring, and it would be very, very low maintenance, but hopefully high performance. And we got that. We can't say we didn't get that. And obviously this year we've tried to assemble a team that is, financially very short of last year, and we've done it to the best. And even after the game the other night, and obviously it was a lot of emotion, but it's still quite a bare dressing room.
Do you think the floodlight failure at the start, I mean, would that have put them off at all? Or, no crowds as well? It's sort of kind of an eerie situation to come out to.
After 10 minutes, I wanted to start a fire myself. So, but no. We were tucked away inside. We didn't come out and then go back in and then come back out. We knew about it, well in advance. And the fire brigade did brilliantly, and the electrician. And that gentleman was a very nice man, and he got to work very quickly. And that had nothing to do with it. We were just poor, very poor. I didn't like it, nor would have anyone else. And we have to ensure that doesn't happen again. Full stop, indefinitely.
One other point, you don't seem to be getting much of a rub of the green from a refereeing point of view. Is that bothering you?
It always bothers me. I think it's bothering my hairline as well. But it's, I think with us, when I look at us, when we're playing well in games, I always think we're getting decisions when we play well in games, and we're getting the right decisions. And I keep saying to the players, and the players are highly, big characters and highly emotional people, especially, we've all seen it, Charlie Lee, Collins, Dickinson, they're very similar people to myself. And it's so important we stay focused on what we can control. We can't control what the referee's doing. And I actually think we've given the referee a harder time, both during the game and after the game, than what we should have done. We should be focusing on us. We're the only group that can control what we do. We can't be reliant on officials, whether they're good or bad or indifferent. And I've got to tell you, I haven't seen any referee this year as bad as we were Tuesday. So, I've got nowhere to go on that. That's just deflecting. And like I said, I've done that gig as a manager when kind of, when the pressure comes on you a little bit and you start deflecting and you start saying this and that and the other. We'd just rather try and control what we can. We hope to bring in another defender ahead of Saturday and get him out there so that we at least can construct some sort of defensive unit.
Finally, you lost Josh Staunton. Any news on how long he's going to be out?
No, we're still waiting for the swelling to settle before he gets a scan. I've got real fears on that one. I saw the incident, quite clearly, and I think that could be a naughty one. Maybe I could be wrong. Of course I can. I can't look inside his ankle, but I've got real. I'm quite pessimistic about that one, and obviously it just coincided. Obviously with no Collins, and Colo's going to be another good couple of weeks, maybe 3, and it kind of just shelved all our plans on our shape and why we were going down that road. And we'll have to do something different. We've got one central defender, we've got 3 fullbacks. We're going to have to construct something some other way, and again, it goes back to what I've always said. It's that problem solving. You've got to solve the problem. At the minute, we got a few of them.
Well, I suppose you can always reel out Terry Skiverson again, can't you?
I'm hoping to have someone tomorrow. I'm hoping to have signed someone like late tonight, early tomorrow, that will go straight in the team for Saturday and give us a stability, maybe give us an attribute that we haven't had so far this year. So with a bit of luck, I won't have to use Tell, but I've got to tell you, he's art as big as a dustbin, that man. So I wouldn't be afraid to throw him on because he'd certainly liven a few up, that's for sure.
Well, good luck Saturday, Darren, anyway. So Saturday's the day.
Me too. Cheers, Aid.
Hey, Darren, how you doing?
Hi, mate. You okay?
Yeah, not bad, thanks. I know it won't be on your periphery just yet, but what did you make of the Cup draw?
I'd rather it be at home. Every time we didn't come out the hat, I sat there with my wife and my kids, and I watched every ball come out the hat. And every time we obviously didn't come out first, I went, no, please not. And I think I went through about 25 of them, and then Bromley came out and said, no, not away. But listen, I like being here. I know we've not been great here so far, but I like being here. I like being in our ground. I'd much prefer the supporters to be here right now, but it's a good game for us. It's an FA Cup game. We still know we've got great capabilities. We still know that. There's people seem to think. I had a chat with a director at another club the other week who's been a lifelong friend of my family's, and he was referring to one of his clubs that he works with or supports, and he was talking about the confidence and things like that. There's never ever going to be a shake in that dressing room in terms of confidence. They're too big a characters. Do you think Charlie Lee's not been through a run before? 1 win in 7. I've been through it so many times. How many times? This is part of being in football. we don't like it, like a gig, and it's part of our industry, and we're in a performance industry where results mean more than anything. So I think we've still got real capability in whatever game we play, and whether we're playing away at Bromley or we're playing on the 4G or we're playing here at Hewish. We've got real strengths, and we can't get away from that. I said this before, and I want people to hear this. And if you want to criticise me on it, that's no problem. This group of players are all ready to give up half their money to keep this club going. You know, we were all under such pressure during lockdown, and they were ready to, you know, forfeit their family's best interests for the sake of this club. I'm not ready to throw that away yet. I'm not ready. I'm a loyal guy, and these boys deserve the rough as well as the smooth.
And obviously, Doofus is one of the ones that are out long term as well. But it's good to see Quigley scoring. Has he settled in well?
Yeah, he's seen a couple of different sides of me so far. I'm not sure. I think you might actually be thinking, what have I done here? But I've enjoyed working with Joe. It's in its infancy. We acted quickly because of our interest in him last season, right at the beginning of the season, before we went on and signed Dagnall and Goldie and players like that. So we acted very quickly. It was a you know, geographically it was a good deal. Bournemouth lad, and the numbers made unbelievable sense. So, you know, we wanted him here. We feel like I feel like Joe's probably a little bit misinterpreted, maybe by previous coaches and managers. But again, our relationship's in its infancy. But, you know, I said to him, I said to all the players, I said to Staunton, because that's another thing, you know, we've only signed 3 permanent players since the end of last year. So I said to Staunton and Quigley, so when you come to Yeovil, there's a huge expectation to win. We can't tiptoe around people. You know, there is an expectation to win games week in, week out, and you have to perform week in, week out because the demand is there. So, you know, we're certainly not going to stand there and put our arm around you every 2 minutes of the day and cuddle you and tell you everything's going to be all right when it might not be. But there was a moment during the first half on Tuesday where I may have lost my temper, but I thought Joe responded very well. I thought his performance responded very well, and that was interesting because I've not had to do that or not had to be like that with Joe yet. And you're always trying to test the water and trial and error things with people, and with Joe, I saw an effect. So when I talk about him being misinterpreted, that interpretation of him, I think that I've received from others, I'm not sure that's fair. So we're giving Joe the best chance he can to be as good a player as he can for us, and he's definitely got some attributes that add to our game.
Yeah, and lastly for me, the club's doing its bit for the community today by offering free school meals. Have they been well received?
It's an unbelievable initiative. It's a fantastic initiative, and that young man in Manchester should be very, very proud of himself for what he started. Very, very proud of himself. And there are good out there. Do you know what I mean? I know we're constantly publicising the bad and the critical and the negative, but there are some wonderful, wonderful people out there doing some amazing things for, you know, all sorts of causes. And I think the club has always been that type of club. And you see the way our supporters help us, and hopefully the club will help the supporters and the community and everything that goes along with it. And I think it's just a wonderful thing. And I can't believe anyone who wouldn't be jumping on the back of this to support Marcus and his it's a crusade. You know, it's a wonderful, wonderful crusade that is going to benefit so many young people. And when he talks about it, I always like listening to what he says, because you know there's a huge involvement of what the future, you know, making a better future. And if we can work with our young people they are the future of this world. So, you know, we've got to do the work now, and we've got to do it early, and we've got to make sure they've got the best chance in life to right wrongs and make it a better place. But unbelievable effort from that young man.